We have grain-fed, grass-fed, we have grass-finished, we have naturals, organic, and I kind of want to break down what those things mean and maybe what you want to look for. Now, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer when it comes to this. I think it depends on preference. Everyone is going to have a different opinion, and it can get kind of controversial. So understand, all cattle, whether they are grain finished or grass finished, are raised in a pasture eating grass and forage. Grain finished means that the last months or weeks of its life, it was finished on grain to fatten it up to create good flavor, a tender meat, the beautiful marbling that you see through grain finished meat. Grass-fed just means that they had to be fed grass a certain percentage of their lives. Grass-finished means that they had to have been literally grass-finished, like no corn, no grain ever. Which, I'm just gonna say right now, you cannot believe everything that you read on labels at stores. There are ways people can get around this kind of stuff. There's not always somebody watching over you making sure that you're following the guidelines to make it 100% grass finished. Naturals means that it was never given any antibiotics or growth hormones. Organic means that it was fed grass. It could have been finished on grain, but the grain has to be organic grain, organic corn, organic whatever. A big argument is grain-fed beef is high in omega-6s and 9s, which are pro-inflammatory fats that create inflammation because you get a lot of soybean, get a lot of corn. They're very inflammatory. So with grass finished, you're getting more of the omega-3s, and those are anti-inflammatory fats that are very good for you. And I can't really say for sure how much it affects a person to have grain finished meat. The biggest advice I can give to you is to find a local rancher or a farmer and ask them if you can buy beef from them. This way, you're completely cutting out the middleman. So you know exactly what you're getting. You can ask the farmer or rancher exactly what that beef has been fed its whole life. If it's been given antibiotics, you can know all of these things by buying directly from the farmer or rancher. This is also good for the rancher because your money is going directly to them. So you're really helping out your local agriculture. If you want a grass-finished beef, ask them to do a grass-finished beef for you. If you want it grain-finished, ask them to do a grain-finished beef for you. You have complete control this way over what is going into your food. You know exactly where it's coming from. Produce. What should be bought organic and what doesn't really matter. EWG released a list, so it's called the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. It's just a list of things that you should buy organic and things that don't matter so much. Personally, I follow it somewhat, but it's not always logical for me. Some things that I do buy organic are strawberries, blueberries, green beans, spinach, kale. So that's a very small list of things that I buy organic, depending on what's in season. It's just a preference thing. You do what you want. If you want to buy all organic, do it by all means. Some people can't afford that. You can decide for yourself what you want to do. It's your life, your family, your food, your gut. You eat how you want to eat and how you can afford. The things that I don't typically worry about are avocados, onions, asparagus, cabbage, mushrooms, potatoes, sweet potato, broccoli, carrots, squash, cucumbers, tomatoes, celery, and cauliflower. If I'm buying carrots and the dish that I'm planning on making is very carrot heavy, I will buy organic carrots because, in my opinion, they taste better, cook up better. I like organic carrots. if it's a carrot forward dish. When I'm buying eggs from the store, which is not very often, I like to get eggs from a local neighbor. But if I'm buying eggs from the store, I will get the pasture raised. Cage-free means that they are still contained into a building, all very dirty, and they're not getting outside to eat the yummy forage and stuff that creates really healthy nutrients. Free range means they have a little bit of access to outdoors. A majority of their life is spent in a building. You know, like I said, you can't just believe every label that you read, but pasture raised, you're more likely to have eggs that come from chickens that were actually free range, free to roam, eating forage, and not on such a heavy grain and corn diet. When it comes to oils, the only oils that I keep around my house are coconut oil, avocado oil, and olive oil. So both coconut oil and avocado oil have a high smoke point, which means you can use them for sauteing, for frying. If you're cooking meat in a skillet, olive oil shouldn't be heated, so typically use it. Sometimes I'll put it on my toast, in dressings for salads. Olive oil is great for making sauces. Avocado oil wins in my book because it's more of a neutral flavor. Olive oil definitely has a taste, and sometimes that can affect the dish that you're making. My husband can't have dairy, so we don't have dairy in our house, but if we did, I would definitely use ghee. Love ghee. Tastes delicious. If somebody is sensitive to dairy, they can typically still have ghee, but if they're intolerant, probably shouldn't have ghee. It can still mess up their stomachs. There's also beef tallow. A lot of people cook with beef tallow. I personally haven't, and it's one of my goals this year to find some and start using it. So oils to stay away from would be soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower, safflower. I won't get into the science of it, but these oils are toxic. That's what it comes down to. They're toxic, stay away from them. Anything that says vegetable oil, just stay away from it if you can. These things cause high amounts of inflammation and diseases, stuff that you do not want to mess with. When you're buying olive oil, kind of be careful what you buy. You need to buy a higher quality olive oil. The generic oils, if you look at the label, sometimes they literally will have soybean or canola oil along with the olive oil. This olive oil is cold pressed and it says 100% California, extra virgin olive oil. Cold pressed is very important. It being in a dark glass bottle is very important, and it coming from a single origin, so 100% California, whether it's Italy or wherever you're getting your olive oil, it should be only from that place. Otherwise, you know that they have mixed oils from different places. So in my opinion, spending a little bit extra money on olive oil is pretty important. Coffee. I love coffee. I'm drinking coffee right now. We do need to be cautious what we buy, what kind of coffee we buy. You never really know if you're buying a generic brand like Folgers or Kirkland. You never really know how long it's been sitting there ground. So just like a lot of things, coffee beans are sensitive to air, to light. You want to buy the freshest you can, otherwise your coffee will mold, and it's not something that you necessarily can taste. Just be mindful of it try to find a fresher organic blend. Other things to stay away from in a typical grocery store would be gums and fillers, preservatives, most sugars, including sucralose, vegetable oils like we had said, colors, even natural flavors. Natural flavors can mean a lot of different things, and it's not like it sounds. It's not natural. Just be aware of what you're buying and look out for these things. Sometimes it's unavoidable, and that's okay. For the majority, I recommend staying away from them so that you can be the happiest and healthiest version of yourself. Thank you for joining me for this little coffee talk. If you have any thoughts or opinions, please comment down below. If you disagree with me, please let me know. And there's a lot to learn. So educate yourself, buy local, and read your labels. Fresh or organic